The day America stopped. The morning arrives like any other morning, except that it isn't. It is November 22nd, 1963, and the world does not yet know that it is about to change forever. The sun rises over Fort Worth, Texas, pale and distant. A cool breeze moves through the early light. Somewhere birds are singing, the ordinary sounds of an ordinary morning in an ordinary American town. But there is a tension in the air. It is subtle, almost imperceptible. The kind of feeling that you cannot quite name, but that your nervous system recognizes immediately. It is the sensation of standing at the edge of something, of being present at a moment that the universe is holding its breath around. In a hotel room in Fort Worth, a man wakes. He has barely slept. His back is aching. It always aches now, a constant companion, a reminder of old wounds that never fully healed. He lies in bed in the darkness, listening to the sounds of the city beginning to wake around him, and he knows that today will be exhausting. Today will be a day of crowds and speeches and the endless performance that has become his life. But something else is present in that darkness, something that he cannot quite articulate, a sense of dread, a sense that something is not right, a sense perhaps that the universe is balanced on a knife's edge and that anything could tip it. He gets out of bed. He does not yet know that this is the last ordinary morning of his life. He does not yet know that in a few hours the world will fracture. He does not yet know that the life he has constructed, the presidency he has fought so hard to achieve, the carefully managed image that he has presented to the nation and to the world is about to be obliterated. He only knows that today will be difficult. Today will require strength. Today will require him to be the man that America believes him to be. He does not yet know how final that performance will be. Jacqueline Kennedy wakes early. She has learned over the years to function on minimal sleep, to move through her days with the grace and poise that the role of First Lady demands. She dresses carefully. She has chosen her outfit for this day with precision, a pink Chanel suit with a matching pillbox hat. She looks in the mirror and sees the image that America has come to expect, a woman of elegance, composure, and beauty. But beneath the image, there is exhaustion. There is the exhaustion of being watched constantly, of never being able to have a moment that is truly private, of performing a version of yourself that is not entirely authentic. There is also something else, a kind of weariness that goes beyond simple fatigue. It is the weariness of a woman who knows, perhaps not consciously but somewhere deep in her bones, that her husband is not the man that America believes him to be. She knows about the affairs. She knows about the women who come and go from his orbit. She knows about the compartmentalization that allows him to function as both a devoted family man and a serial philanderer. She knows that the image of Camelot that has been constructed, the beautiful young president with his beautiful young wife and their beautiful young children, the perfect American family at the apex of power, is not entirely true. But she also loves him. This is the complexity that she carries with her every day. She loves him despite his flaws. She loves him because she understands him in ways that most people do not. She sees the wounded man beneath the presidential persona. She understands what drove him to construct this carefully managed image. She comprehends the internal pressure that he carries, the sense that he is always being judged, always being measured, always being compared to an ideal version of himself that he can never quite attain. And so she performs her role with excellence. She is the perfect First Lady. She is graceful, intelligent, cultured, and beautiful. She stands beside him and smiles for the cameras. She gives him the appearance of domestic stability and family happiness. She is, in many ways, complicit in the construction of the myth of Camelot, even as she is aware of the gaps between myth and reality. On this morning, she does not know that she will spend the rest of her life trying to piece together what happened in the coming hours. She does not know that the carefully managed image of her life is about to shatter. She does not know that she will become, through no choice of her own, a witness to one of the most traumatic events in American history. She only knows that it is a beautiful morning, that her husband looks tired, that there are crowds waiting in Dallas, and that duty demands that she appear beside him and smile. The Secret Service is nervous on this morning. There is a kind of low-level anxiety that permeates the security apparatus. the sense that something is not quite right. Texas has been problematic. The state is politically divided. There have been threats. There have been concerns. But there is also fatigue. The machinery of protecting the president has been running at high intensity for almost 3 years now. The constant vigilance, the endless checking and rechecking of security protocols, the surveillance of potential threats. It is exhausting work, and even the most dedicated agents eventually begin to operate with a kind of diminished alertness. The advanced teams have done their work. They have scoped out the road of the motorcade. They have identified potential problems. They have established secure positions. Everything has been checked and rechecked and checked again. The security is as tight as it can be, or so everyone believes. But there is something about human systems that makes them vulnerable. There is something about routine, about the numbing effect of constant vigilance, about the assumption that nothing will go wrong because nothing has gone wrong before. That creates gaps. Small gaps, but gaps nonetheless. The agents guiding the president through this morning do not know that today will test their competence and their commitment in ways that they cannot imagine. They do not know that in a matter of hours, they will be reviewing their decisions, questioning their choices, wondering what they could have done differently. They do not know that this day will haunt them for the rest of their lives. They only know that they have a job to do. They know that the president wants this trip to be successful. They know that there are crowds that need to be managed. They know that security protocols need to be maintained. They know that nothing has gone wrong, and they assume that nothing will. It is an assumption that the universe is about to shatter. The morning passes. There are speeches. There are crowds. There is the endless machinery of political performance grinding forward. The president speaks in Fort Worth to a crowd of businessmen. He is energized. He is performing at his best. The charisma that has served him so well is on full display. He speaks about the future of Texas. He speaks about the economy. He speaks about the space program and America's commitment to reaching the moon. He is articulate, compelling, and confident. There is no indication that anything is wrong. There is no indication that anything is about to fundamentally change. Jackie stands beside him, smiling. She is, as always, the perfect accompaniment to his performance. She is gracious and elegant. She is the vision of the American First Lady. She is everything that the nation expects her to be. The crowd is enthusiastic. There are cheers, there are smiles. There is the sense of genuine connection between the president and the people who have come to see him. This is what political power looks like when it is functioning at its best. A leader and a people united, moving toward a common future. But there is also an undercurrent. There is a tension beneath the surface of this morning. The crowds are larger than usual. The enthusiasm is more intense. There is a kind of hunger in the air, a desperation almost, as though people are reaching toward the president, as though he is the embodiment of something precious. Hope, perhaps, or the sense that America's future is bright and unlimited. What they do not know is that they are reaching toward a man who is about to cease to exist. What they do not know is that this morning will be the last morning of his presidency. What they do not know is that the future they are imagining will never come to pass. The president, for his part, seems almost relieved. He has been worried about this trip. He has been concerned about the political situation in Texas. But now that he is here, now that he is encountering the crowds, now that he is performing, the anxiety has diminished. The crowds are supportive. The people are friendly. The trip is going well. He speaks to Jackie. He tells her that the trip is successful. He tells her that the people of Texas are behind him. He tells her that he feels good about the future. She smiles. She believes him. Or perhaps she does not quite believe him, but she is willing to pretend to believe him, which in the context of their marriage is almost the same thing. The hours pass. The morning becomes afternoon. The machinery continues to move forward. No one knows what is coming. By midday, they are in Dallas. The presidential limousine has been prepared. The motorcade has been arranged. The Secret Service has finalized its arrangements. Everything is in place. Everything is ready. The limousine is open. The president wanted it this way. He wanted to be able to see people and be seen by people. He did not want to be isolated behind bulletproof glass. He wanted connection. He wanted the sense of genuine interaction with the crowds. The Secret Service was not happy about this arrangement, but the president is the president. His desires are paramount. And besides, he has been president for almost 3 years now, and nothing has gone wrong. The assumption is that nothing will go wrong today. The motorcade begins to move through Dallas. The streets are lined with people. There are crowds, there are well-wishers. There are people who have come to see the president pass, to catch a glimpse of Camelot in motion. The sun is bright, the day is clear. Dallas is a beautiful city on this day. The streets are wide and lined with buildings. The crowds are enthusiastic. The security seems adequate. Jackie waves at the crowds. She is, as always, performing her role perfectly. She is gracious and warm and engaged. The crowds love her. There is genuine affection in their response to her presence. The president is more reserved in his interaction with the crowds, but there is warmth in his expression. He seems pleased with the response. He seems confident. He seems to be exactly where he wants to be at exactly the time he wants to be there. The motorcade continues to move through the streets. The route is familiar to the advance team. It is an established route, one that has been planned and replanned and approved by security. The motorcade is moving through downtown Dallas, through the heart of the city, through the place where the crowds are largest and most enthusiastic. Time seems to slow. Or perhaps time is moving at its normal speed, but we perceive it as slowing because we know what is coming. We know that in the next few minutes, everything will change. We know that the peaceful motorcade will become chaos. We know that this moment of perfect symmetry, a young president at the height of his power, his beautiful wife beside him, crowds of admirers lining the streets, is about to shatter. But the people in the motorcade do not know this. The Secret Service agents do not know this. The president does not know this. Jackie does not know this. They are moving through what they believe is an ordinary moment, a routine part of a successful political trip, unaware that they are about to enter the most significant moment of their lives. The motorcade continues to move. The sun is bright. The crowds are cheering. The future seems unlimited. What happens in the next few seconds will be debated for decades. The exact sequence of events will be analyzed frame by frame. The trajectory of bullets will be calculated and recalculated. The positions of witnesses will be documented and cross-referenced. Conspiracy theories will emerge. Official investigations will be conducted. Books will be written. Films will be made. But at the moment it is happening, there is no time for analysis. There is only chaos. There is only the sudden, shocking transition from normalcy to catastrophe. The sound is what people remember most. Not the specific sound of gunfire, though that is what it is, but the shock of the sound, the sense that something has torn through the fabric of ordinary reality. People initially do not understand what they are hearing. It cannot be shots. It cannot be violence. It cannot be that something terrible is happening in front of them while the nation watches. But it is. In the limousine, there is confusion. There is the sudden awareness that something has gone catastrophically wrong. There is movement and panic and the activation of every emergency protocol that the Secret Service has trained for and practiced and hoped would never have to be deployed. Jackie reaches for him. She is trying to do something, to help him, to make sense of what is happening. She is performing an action that will be replayed countless times, that will be analyzed and dissected and turned into a symbol of her devotion and her anguish. The limousine accelerates. The motorcade is no longer a processional movement through the city. It is now a desperate flight, an emergency response, a movement driven by panic and the instinct to remove the president from danger. The crowds, moments before so eager and enthusiastic, are now confused and frightened. They do not understand what has happened. They do not know if they should run or stay. They do not know if what they have witnessed is real or if they are misinterpreting something that cannot possibly be true. The moment lasts forever and is over in seconds. The clarity of the before has been obliterated and replaced with the chaos of the after. In the limousine, there is an awareness that something irreversible has occurred. The president is injured. This much is clear. The extent of the injury is not immediately clear, but it is clear that he is hurt, that the security that was supposed to protect him has failed, that the machinery that had been assembled to prevent precisely this kind of catastrophe has broken down. He is conscious. He is aware. He is trying to understand what has happened to him. His body is responding to trauma in the complex ways that bodies respond to trauma. Shock, disorientation, the attempt to make sense of something that is fundamentally senseless. Jackie is with him. She is holding him. She is present in the most intimate moment of human catastrophe, witnessing the person you love experiencing the moment of their death. The performance is over. The careful management of image is irrelevant. What remains is raw human emotion in its most primal form. The limousine continues to move. It is heading to Parkland Hospital. It is a frantic race against time, a desperate attempt to preserve the life that is slipping away. The medical personnel at the hospital are being alerted. The machinery of emergency medicine is being activated. Everything possible is being done to save the president. But even as all of this is happening, even as the sirens are wailing, and the limousine is speeding, and the hospital is being prepared, there is a kind of certainty. There is a sense that the point of no return has been crossed. There is a sense that what has been set in motion cannot be reversed. The transition from life to death is not marked by a clear moment. It is a process. It is a gradual diminishment. It is a fading. It is the slow extinguishing of a light. The nation learns the news gradually. First, there are reports of shots in Dallas. First, there is confusion. Is the president hurt? Is he safe? What has happened? The information is uncertain, contradictory, incomplete. And then there is clarity. The president is dead. The president of the United States has been assassinated. The words seem impossible. They seem to be words that cannot be true, that cannot possibly apply to this moment, this person, this reality. But they are true. The impact of this moment ripples outward from Dallas in concentric circles. The Secret Service is in shock. The nation is in shock. The world is in shock. Television stations interrupt regular programming to announce the news. People who hear the announcement will remember for the rest of their lives exactly where they were when they heard those words. In schools, teachers are weeping. In homes, families are gathering around television sets. In government buildings, officials are trying to understand what has happened and what needs to happen next. In churches, people are praying. The carefully constructed image of Camelot has been shattered. The sense of unlimited future has been replaced with a sense of profound uncertainty. The belief in the safety of American institutions, in the orderliness of American government, in the protection of the president, all of these beliefs have been damaged or destroyed. The president who had spoken so eloquently about the future of America, about the space program and civil rights, and America's role in a changing world, is gone. The man who had transformed himself from a wounded boy to a leader, capable of standing at the brink of nuclear annihilation and choosing a different path, that man is gone. The moment has occurred. The history has been made. The future has been irrevocably altered. In the hours following the assassination, the nation struggles to make sense of what has happened. The machinery of government activates. The succession of power begins. Lyndon Johnson becomes president. The transition, which was supposed to be something that happened decades in the future, is now happening in real time. But beneath the formal processes, beneath the official statements and the emergency procedures, there is disbelief. There is the sense that something has been torn from the fabric of American reality, something precious and irreplaceable. Jackie, still wearing the pink Chanel suit that is now stained with the evidence of what has occurred, is escorted away. She is in shock, though her training allows her to continue to perform her role even in this moment of ultimate trauma. She is the widow now. She is the keeper of his memory. She is the symbol of the nation's grief. In the days that follow, she orchestrates a funeral that will be remembered as one of the most poignant moments in American history. She walks behind his casket. She carries herself with the dignity and poise that has always characterized her. She grieves in public while processing the private trauma of having witnessed the death of the man she loved. The nation grieves with her. The certainties that had seemed unshakable moments before are revealed to be fragile. The sense that American institutions are stable and reliable is damaged. The belief that the president is protected, that the future is secure, that progress is inevitable, all of these beliefs have been undermined. People gather at the television. They watch the funeral. They watch the horse-drawn casket. They watch the eternal flame that will burn at Arlington Cemetery. They participate in a collective ritual of mourning that will come to define a generation. What happened on that day in Dallas? This question has been asked countless times in the decades that followed. Official investigations have concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald, acting alone, fired the shots that killed the president. But there have been questions, there have been inconsistencies, there have been alternative theories that suggest that what happened was not as straightforward as the official narrative suggests. Some have suggested that there were multiple shooters. Some have suggested that organized crime was involved. Some have suggested that foreign governments were involved. Some have suggested that elements within the American government were involved. The theories proliferate, the books are written, the documentaries are made, but what remains consistent across all of these different theories is the fundamental question: how did it happen? How did the most powerful man in the world, protected by an entire security apparatus, become vulnerable to an attack? How did the system fail? How did the machinery that was designed to prevent precisely this kind of catastrophe break down? The answers are complex and involve questions of security, of chance, of the inevitable vulnerabilities that exist in any system designed by human beings. The answers involve questions about the limits of foresight and prevention. The answers involve the recognition that no matter how carefully we plan, no matter how thoroughly we prepare, there are always gaps. There are always moments when the unexpected can occur. But beyond the questions of security and protection, there are deeper questions. Questions about power and vulnerability. Questions about what it means to live in a world in which the highest office can be touched by violence. Questions about the fragility of the systems we construct to protect ourselves and our leaders. In the years and decades following the assassination, the memory of John F. Kennedy has been transformed. The man has become a myth. The presidency has become Camelot. The specific details of his life, his affairs, his health struggles, his political mistakes, have been partially obscured by the golden glow of memory. What people remember is not the complexity of the man. What people remember is the image, the charisma, the eloquent speeches, the sense that he represented a different kind of leadership, a different kind of future. And perhaps this is inevitable. When someone is taken from life at the moment of their greatest power, at the moment before their flaws might have become undeniable, they are preserved in amber. They are preserved as the best version of themselves. They are preserved as what they might have become rather than what they actually were. But there is something else that happens too. The assassination itself becomes transformative. It becomes a moment that divides American history into before and after. It becomes the moment when a kind of innocence was lost. It becomes the moment when the sense that America was moving toward an unlimited future was replaced by the recognition that the future was uncertain, that progress was not inevitable, that darkness could emerge at any moment. The presidency that follows will be marked by the loss of this president. The wars that will be fought in the decade following will be haunted by the question of what Kennedy might have done differently. The struggles for civil rights and social justice will be viewed through the lens of the Kennedy administration's achievements and failures. The space program will continue, but without quite the same sense of unlimited possibility. The assassination ripples forward across time. Its effects are felt decades later. Its mysteries remain unresolved. Its impact on the national consciousness remains profound. What is important to understand about November 22nd, 1963, is not primarily the specific details of what happened, though those details matter. What is important is the moment itself, the moment when history fractured, when the future pivoted, when the world became different in ways that are still being understood. For people who were alive on that day, that moment is imprinted on their consciousness. They remember where they were. They remember how they felt. They remember the sense of disbelief and shock and the slow recognition that something irreversible had occurred. For people born after that day, the moment exists in historical memory. It exists as something learned about, studied, understood intellectually, But there is a quality to direct experience that cannot be fully transmitted across generations. There is something about having lived through a catastrophic moment that cannot be adequately conveyed to people born after that moment has occurred. But what can be conveyed is the significance. What can be conveyed is the understanding that this moment mattered, that it changed things, that it marked a turning point in the history of a nation, in the history of the world. What can be conveyed is the recognition that a man who had seemed invulnerable, who had seemed to embody the future, who had seemed to be the incarnation of American hope and possibility, was revealed to be vulnerable. He was revealed to be mortal. He was revealed to be subject to the same forces that affect all human beings: chance, fate, the unexpected intrusions of violence and chaos into the orderly world that we construct. The assassination of John F. Kennedy is a story that has been told countless times. It has been analyzed, theorized, questioned, and reimagined. It has been explored in books and films and documentaries. It has become part of the collective memory of a nation. But what remains consistent across all of these tellings is the sense that something precious was lost on that day. Whether one sees Kennedy as a great president or a flawed leader, whether one believes the official narrative or alternative theories, whether one views his death as a moment of national tragedy or as an event whose significance has been inflated by time, what remains is the recognition that something changed. The president was taken from power by violence. The machinery of government adapted and continued. The nation survived. Time moved forward. Life went on. But the sense that the future was unlimited, the sense that America was moving inevitably toward progress, the sense that the highest office was safe from violence, these senses were damaged. Whether they were destroyed or merely wounded, whether they have recovered or not, is a question that Americans are still asking decades later. What we can say is this: the assassination of John F. Kennedy was a moment when the world stopped. It was a moment when millions of people felt something shift. It was a moment when the future became uncertain in ways that it had not been uncertain before. And in that uncertainty, in that moment when the stable world was revealed to be unstable, something important about human existence was revealed. The recognition that none of us is truly protected. The recognition that violence can emerge at any moment. The recognition that the future we imagine is not guaranteed. The recognition that the lives we are living, the people we love, the world that we have constructed, all of these things are more fragile than we often want to believe. This is what the assassination of John F. Kennedy teaches us. Not the specific details of what happened, though those matter, but the deeper lesson about the fragility of human existence and the fragility of the structures we construct to protect ourselves and our leaders. If you had been there in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963, if you had been part of the crowds lining the streets, if you had been watching the motorcade pass, what would you have felt? What would you have thought? What would you have experienced in that moment when the future fractured? Perhaps you would have felt the same enthusiasm as the crowds that were there. The hope, the excitement, the sense that you were witnessing something important, something meaningful, something that represented the best of what America could be. Or perhaps you would have felt something else, a sense of unease, a premonition, a feeling that something was not quite right, that the perfect moment was too perfect, that something dark was lurking beneath the surface. Or perhaps you would have felt simply the ordinary emotions of that day: curiosity, interest, the simple desire to see the president, to be part of a historic moment without any sense that the moment would become historic in ways that no one could have predicted. But whichever emotions you would have felt, the fundamental question remains: what does it mean to live in a world in which the unexpected can occur at any moment? What does it mean to live in a world in which the person we believe will lead us into the future can be taken from us without warning? What does it mean to live with the recognition that no matter how carefully we plan, no matter how thoroughly we protect ourselves, there are always vulnerabilities, always gaps, always the possibility that something will shatter the world we have constructed? These are the questions that the assassination of John F. Kennedy continues to ask us, decades later. These are the questions that remain unanswered, and these are the questions that define what it means to be human in a world that is more fragile than we often want to believe.